Thousands of years before anyone drilled a single well, people were already using oil. They just didn't know what it was. They thought it was a curse from the earth, a black sickness leaking out of the ground, and the story of how they figured out what it actually was. It's stranger than you'd think. Picture this: Mesopotamia, thousands of years ago. Farmers are walking through their fields and suddenly their feet get stuck. Not in mud, in something thick, black, and sticky, oozing straight out of cracks in the ground. They called it naphtha in some regions, kyre in others. To them, it wasn't fuel. It wasn't valuable, it was just weird, annoying. The ground was leaking something ugly and nobody knew why. Some thought evil spirits lived underground. Others thought it was the blood of the earth itself, seeping out through wounds. Then someone made a mistake that changed everything. Legend says a fire accidentally touched the black puddles, and instead of putting out the flame, the ground itself caught fire and kept burning. For days, sometimes weeks. Imagine watching that for the first time. The earth on fire with no wood, no fuel that you could see. Just flames coming out of solid ground like it was alive. That terrified people, but it also fascinated them. Some Babylonian priests started treating these eternal fires as sacred. Temples were even built near natural gas seeps that burned continuously. Here's where it gets interesting. Once people got over the fear, they got curious. And once they got curious, they got practical. They noticed the black sticky substance didn't dissolve in water, it hardened. It sealed cracks. So they started using it as glue, as waterproofing. Ancient builders mixed it into mortar for city walls. Boats were sealed with it so water couldn't get in. Even mosaics and jewelry were held together with it. Some Arab tribes used it as medicine, rubbing it on wounds and joints, believing it had healing powers. Nobody understood they were sitting on top of one of the most valuable resources in human history. To them, it was just sticky black mud that happened to be useful, and that's the wild part. For thousands of years, oil was seen as a nuisance, or at best, a construction material. It wasn't until much later that people realized this same cursed groundwater could be refined into something that would power engines, light cities, and reshape the entire global economy. The same substance that once stuck to a farmer's sandals would one day decide the fate of nations. So next time you see an oil field, remember, it didn't start with money or power. It started with someone's foot getting stuck in the mud and a fire that wouldn't go out.